Hey guys, my name is Dean. Welcome to Manflow Yoga. In this video, I'm going to be talking all about back pain. So what are some common symptoms of back pain? What causes back pain? And then I'll talk about what are the solutions. So back pain is caused by a variety of things, but mostly it's caused by the lifestyle that we live, which is a mostly sedentary lifestyle, a lot of sitting, and then also by the exercise that we do or do not do. And this is a question that I'm asked about all the time because a lot of people associate yoga with one of the exercises that can relieve and prevent back pain. And this is true, and a lot of yoga does help with back pain, but there are also some types of yoga that can just make your back pain worse. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. So let's start with some common issues and challenges. Number one is sitting too much. So a reason why a lot of people have back pain is just because we sit way too much. The position that our body is in while sitting causes lots of muscles to get tight. It causes weakening of a lot of muscles, and it also puts a lot of stress on your lumbar spine, which is your low back. So that's cause number one. Number two is a lack of effective exercise. So a lot of us are exercising, but we still have back pain, which means that one of those causes of back pain could be that we're just not doing the right exercises. So that's cause number two. Cause number three is exercise-induced pain. So this is what happens when you don't normally have back pain, but when you work out, you'll have back pain, and then the day after your workout, you'll have back pain. So that's another issue. And then chronic low back pain. And this is characterized by daily pain or discomfort in your lower back. A lot of these people will be on painkillers on a regular basis. They will only have relief when they're laying down. So that's another typical symptom. So explanation, let's talk about why back pain occurs. So when you're inactive, when you're sitting or when you're standing idly, this leads to weakness and flexibility issues if you're doing this on a regular basis for hours and hours and hours. So that general lack of activity causes muscle tightness in your hips, in your hip flexors. It causes overstretching of your lower back. It causes weakness in your glutes and in your core, weakness in your ankles. It weakens your upper back, and your whole body is interrelated. So this weakness and flexibility that you get in other parts of the body, especially in the areas that connect to the lower back, will cause lower back pain. So that's cause or explanation part number one. Sitting. Sitting is another huge part of this because when you're sitting, again, you're putting your body into a position that just leads to back pain. Your lower back is you're basically stretching your lower back when you're in a seated position. Again, the muscles that connect to your lower back are not being used, so there's a lack of circulation going to those muscles. And basically what happens is your lumbar spine, your low back, has to make up for the work that your muscles aren't doing. So instead of using your muscles to support yourself, to hold yourself up, this is all going into the lower back or the spine itself, and that causes pain. So one way that you can think about this is imagining your body as a system of pulleys and levers. And when these pulleys and levers that connect to your back aren't doing what they're supposed to do, let's say one of them isn't long enough or it's not strong enough, then the lower back has to make up for that work. Another analogy that I like to use is having a 5-person team working on something that requires 5 people to accomplish it, so a 5-person job, but only having 3 of those people doing what they're supposed to do, which means that they are making up for more work than they're supposed to be doing, and that leads to more stress in those areas, and it can also lead to the point where one of them just gives out entirely, right? So you could have, a strain or a muscle tear, or you could have herniated disc or something like that. So you might already be dealing with herniated disc. Now let's talk about how to get rid of low back pain. So there are 2 very important things that you need to do, and we'll discuss this in the next few points, but activity and the right exercise. So number one is movement. You need to move more. And this is an issue because a lot of people will think that if their back hurts, that they should lay off of it and wait until it feels better to start exercising. there are certain exercises that you shouldn't be doing with low back pain, but there are certain exercises that you should definitely be doing for low back pain, because only through movement and through strengthening the muscles that connect to your lower back and getting your spine moving and into the right positions to counter a seated position or counter what you're typically doing with your spine, are you going to be able to relieve low back pain. The second part of that is strengthening and not just stretching. So one big misconception is that in order to relieve back pain, you should stretch your lower back. But stretching your lower back actually just aggravates it further, because low back pain happens when you sit. And when you sit, you are in a position that is stretching your lumbar spine. So when you continually stretch your lumbar spine, if you just go from sitting and stretching your lumbar spine to a stretch that stretches your lumbar spine more, this just leads to more discomfort. So there's this misconception that we should be stretching to relieve pain, when in reality we should be strengthening a lot of the time. So it's part strength, it's part stretching, but big misconception is that it's all stretching. So you should be doing the appropriate beginner-friendly exercises. So most of the exercises that relieve back pain or prevent back pain are super easy to do. They're very beginner-friendly. They're something that really anybody should be able to do. Most of them require you to just lie on your back or to lie on your chest or lie on your side. They're very simple. You just have to do them properly and in a way that builds strength. So that can provide both immediate relief from the pain, and it can also help to address the underlying causes of lower back pain. And we're going to do that by strengthening the hips, strengthening the core, and improving the mobility and the flexibility of the hips and the spine. So the exercises that you do to prevent lower back pain should be addressing your core area, pretty much from above the knees to your ribs. A lot of these exercises are found in yoga, which is why a lot of people turn to yoga as a way to strengthen your lower back. And then the other part of this is adopting a more healthy, active lifestyle. So if you're being inactive, if you're sitting, that leads to pain. We need to move on a more regular basis in order to avoid low back pain. The number one cause of back pain is inactivity. So if you were to just start walking more often, that would help with relieving back pain. My recommendation is that you just get up every 1 to 2 hours, especially if you are sitting at a desk or you have a job that requires you to sit, and just get up every 1 or 2 hours and do a few stretches. And a lot of these stretches are very basic yoga postures, and again, a lot of beginner-friendly stuff. So basically your summary here is that you need to move more throughout the day. You need to do the appropriate exercises to build strength, flexibility, and mobility in your hips, your core, and your spine. And you can, by doing that, you can eliminate back pain within just a few weeks, which is really cool. You can get rid of your back pain in just a few weeks. And this is something that I hear about all the time from people who use Manful Yoga programs. And I'll talk about that just briefly now. We've created programs to help with low back pain specifically. We've actually worked with physical therapy clinics in the area to develop this program. The number one program I have for this is called Bulletproof Your Back, and it's a program that features really short workouts. We start at 10 minutes. We work our way up to 15 and 20 minutes, but it's a very simple program. It's a very straightforward program. You're basically just following along to these videos and doing these beginner-friendly exercises, doing them on a regular basis, and within the first few days, you'll actually notice a huge difference. You'll start to notice that immediately you're feeling more open, more fluid, and less discomfort in your back, in your hips, and also in your core and your spine as a whole. But over a couple of weeks and over a few weeks, hopefully within the month, you'll actually notice either greatly decreased or eliminated low back pain. I also have a program called Strength Foundations course, which helps to address all of the root causes of back pain. So we go into strengthening your hips, your ankles, your knees, your core, and just working on all of those muscles that connect to your low back. And that is also a fantastic program, especially if you have exercise-induced pain. The Strength Foundations course is a really solid program for that. Those workouts are about 30 to 40 minutes in length. And then finally, we've also developed what are called paths at Manful Yoga. And these are long-term programs that you can follow for as low as or as few as 5 months and up to 16 months. to help address your specific goals and your specific challenges. And people who are interested in fixing their low back pain typically fit into one of the following paths at Manflow Yoga. Number one is the injury prevention and rehab. So these are my people who have had herniated discs, who have had maybe spinal fusion surgery, or are experiencing chronic back pain, and then also low impact fitness. So these are people who are exercising, but they want to do something that's more gentle on their back, on their joints in general. Maybe they just experience pain in their low back when they're exercising, so they want something that will, instead of beating up their lower back, will help strengthen the low back. And then if you want to learn anything about what I just said, I have a comprehensive blog on this subject on my website at manflowyoga.com/blog. Link will be in the description below here. And then I also have a ton of other issues that I address on my website, things like low impact exercise, knee pain, shoulder pain, weekend warriors. We've got longevity-focused fitness, flexibility, and joint health. So lots of stuff that people are typically interested in when it comes to yoga, and I can help you out with all of that. We have programs specifically built that are fitness-focused, no spiritual, beginner-friendly yoga for men. So it makes it easy to follow a program and to get results. We've got the success stories to back it up. And yeah, so you can learn more about that on my blog. And make sure you're following me on social media. So like this video if you found it useful. Leave a comment if you have a question or you want to share something. And then share it with your friends if you found it really useful. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. We put out different content there on a very regular basis. And we do live workouts every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the future videos. Have a good one.